Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try that again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so my name is Roderick Daly. I am the chair of Community Board 17. As such, it is my duty at 7:07 to call this meeting to order. I do not have a gavel, but this is my gavel. All right, please note, we are very pressed with time today. So I'm asking everyone to stay within the time limit. Our second vice chair right here, Chair Kwamina, will be giving all of you a little indicator. Please follow it, because one of my number one focus this year is for us to not to be here all night. Okay, so everyone, please stay within the limits. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for coming out. I know it's cold, a very cold night out there, so this is so much appreciated. Our district manager will provide you some update about staffing. There's a few things that are happening within our staff, along with our personnel chair, when she comes up as well. Many of you know that we've made an attempt to hire a new ADM. What happened with that new ADM position was that we had a holiday meeting, one person got COVID, and we didn't have quorum. So that created a problem. So please expect all board members. I believe the date is January 4th. You will get an email, but I believe the date is January 4th, where we'll be having a meeting to do the finalized interview for those three candidates. So again, I believe it's Ms. Frazier, that's Tuesday. Somebody can check the calendar. It's a Tuesday, I believe, or a Wednesday, January 4th on that date. The bylaws committees met a few times and to review some of the bylaws. Our bylaws chair will be going over that. There are several amendments that they will put to the agenda. Please review them quickly so that we don't have to worry about meeting again, working with time. Right, so the more you're informed about what's happening, the better it is for you when we get up here. I'm sorry, can I get an agenda, please? Oh, got it. Thank you. I had a meeting with the Department of Transportation, Council Member Lewis and her office, our Transportation Chair, Kwamina, Keith Bray, who's a borough commissioner, regarding bike lanes. The initiative is to increase the bike lanes in our city, right? We in this community are not in favor of complete bike lanes. However, we're willing to work with some components of the bike lane, depending on where the areas are. One of the arguments that we made, and Mr. Kwamina is going to have a conversation about that, but one of the arguments that I made as a chair is that we are a two-fare zone community. That means most people take transportation, so it's very difficult for them to traverse the area if we start increasing the bike lane. So that's one of the things they can work on. Chair Kwamina will go over that a little bit more when he gives his report. And we will also be having follow-up meetings citywide, community board-wide as well. If you know anyone who's interested in joining the community board, I've been saying this for a couple of months, please do fill out the application. The applications are due by February 14th. Please do note, if you are up for reappointment, and if the board, these are only for board members. If you're up for reappointment, you must fill out the application for next year. Last year, we had a couple issues where people thought they would be on the board and they got booted because they didn't submit an application. So if you're interested in know somebody who actually, a former board member, right? Please do ensure that you do that as well. And again, you could go on the Borough President website. You could reach out to me or our District Manager Frazier for that information. Update on attendance. Our first vice chair will be going through that as well. One of the biggest push, and again, I say this is for all board members, the biggest push is for people to show up to the meeting. We do understand that it is a volunteer position. However, when you accepted a position, you knew that it was volunteer, and you also knew that there was an important component of attendance. So the borough president's office, the citywide, the charter, everybody's looking at it because attendance is a major issue. And then coming out of COVID, which created another issue as well, as people got, don't want to be in crowds or whatever the case is, and they got used to being at home with the what do you call it, the hybrid, the virtual meetings that also created an issue. However, we're going back to some sense of normalcy, as in the made-up word by, I think, Herbert Hoover, the president. So I just use that word normalcy. We're going back to some sense of normalcy. The holiday party was very nice. I wanted to, first of all, thank Chair Prasad, wave your hand.